Hello, 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 everyone. Let me know when you have hopped on. It is Thursday, March 24th, and we are getting ready to paint our spring gnome. I'm so excited. Um, Gnomes are really, really trendy. When I got to be honest, when gnomes first came back, I was like, I don't know about that. But I have had a ton of fun painting them. They're so versatile. You could do anything with them. Female gnomes, male gnomes. They're just so much fun. Themes, big beards, little beards. Um, it's been great. I did a whole, I don't even know how many. I did 2 classes at my library with clay pots that we stacked on top of each other upside down and painted them for garden gnomes. And we're doing it again, but this time with different designs on the gnomes. People just love them. They're so cute. And I think they're supposed to be good luck. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, when you hop on, say hi. Hi, Tara. So when you hop on, say hi. Let me know if this is your first time painting. And we will get started. If you have not traced your canvas, if you didn't get a kit, if you got a kit, you have a pre-traced canvas. If you didn't get a kit, I hope you traced your canvas. I have my canvas here ready to go. I'm going to move my tech stuff out of the way. I have my canvas ready to go. This is a 10 by 20, but like I said, you can paint this on any size you want. I do suggest doing this series in a vertical style. It can be smaller than this, bigger than this, whatever it is. It's your art. You can choose it. But we are going to be doing 4 of these. The next one we'll do in June is a summer gnome. It's a beach gnome. So that'll be really fun. And then, so there'll be a series of 4 of these. The next one being the summer. Then we'll probably do a fall and a winter. I'm not necessarily going to do holiday ones. I'll do seasonal ones. So spring, summer, fall, and winter. And that'll be our series here on the free page where I love sharing art from my heart. So let me see who's here. And we will get started. Before I do get started, I'm going to have to change my camera around. I have a new kit. I don't know if you guys saw this. How cute is this? So this is 3D. It comes with all these pieces and material. The material will vary, but I am selling these kits, paint brushes, cloth swatches, and all these. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces and the background with the hole and the twine for hanging. So I have these kits available if you want one. Put kit in the comments. And also I have this kit available. I didn't glue it yet, so I got to turn my camera around. So that's the rainbow colors. And then I love this one in the earth tones too. And this will have the material and a hole for hanging too. Aren't those so pretty? And this is just like very soft, muted earth tones. So I like this one. So I have this kit as well. And then, while you guys are getting set up with your paint and stuff, I'm doing this class via Zoom. It's $10 a person next Thursday, the 31st. So isn't that cute, bunny? It's a little bit more involved than what we do here in the free class, but I know you guys can do it. It's a 2-hour class, and it's done via Zoom. And you don't have to be on camera to be on Zoom. I'm always on the camera. It's either on my face or on my hands, but if you choose to not be seen on camera, that is totally fine. And that's $10 a person, so you could put that in the comments as well if you'd like that link. So now I'm going to put this aside, and we are going to get started painting. So for those of you who have a pre-traced canvas, you will see, it looks like mine obviously, your elements, your flowers and things around the sides might be a little smaller than mine, but when you get to painting that, let me make sure I can see comments here if anybody hops on or has a question or is like, wait, stop, I missed that. Okay. Yeah, okay. When I pre-trace the canvases, a lot of times when I do trace stuff for myself too, just to get my pattern laid out, I will do the elements a little smaller because it's a very natural thing that we do, and I've mentioned this before. When we're painting, let's say we're painting this flower here, so we base coat it, and then we're like, ooh, I don't like that. Ooh, I should have more of a curve here. before you know it, our flower is this big. So when I trace these elements on my things, and for you guys on your pre-traced canvases when you get the kit, I will trace this like within the inside of the design so it's not as big. So if you do happen to be like, ooh, just fixing that, and you get a little carried away, that's okay because we started out smaller to begin with. Okay? So I have a few brushes here. You guys in the kits have different brushes than me. You guys painting at home with me have your own brushes. I'm looking for a good sized brush that I can start with, which I should have been prepared, but it is right here. And we are going to start with the black background. And I am going to start this by loosely tracing my gnome. And we're going to do all the black background, and then we add in the gnome at the end. So if there's any spots where we went over our gnome, or we had a little bit of a crooked line, we paint in the gnome afterward, so it cleans any of that up that we might have gone over with our background. And I'm using about a 1/2 inch brush for this. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If this is your first time joining me, say that as well. If you're new here, there are approximately 13 of these lessons within the guides on this page. I teach a class in here once a month, and then I do in-person paint parties, and I do a paid Zoom once a month. My Zoom classes are more instructional, more technique-based, and longer. Usually the designs are more involved, and it's a longer process. Oh, I always forget to do this. 1 second. Oh, I can't do this. My foot's... Turn. Go. Okay. I have a note here and everything. I like to do a time lapse for marketing purposes. You know, I'm not going to tell you I'm not running a business here. I am. But honestly, I can't tell you guys how often I forget to turn on my device here for the time lapse. Now this gnome, we're going to do the series, spring, summer, fall, and winter. But if you wanted to paint it again, remember all my designs are for personal use only. But if you wanted to paint this again on a different background, or you wanted to paint it on a piece of wood, or you wanted to paint it on a greeting card for someone, go right ahead. Once I have taught you a technique or inspired you with a particular design, you can use it. You cannot sell it, but you can use it to bring happiness to someone else. So yes, I'm going to we'll probably do a fun, hey Rhonda, nice to see you. I think I said hi to you, Tara, also. We will do a fun edge, probably one to match our gnome. But right now, just painting it black, and then I'll go in and paint a design. Are you painting, Rhonda, or just hanging out? And don't forget, you guys, well, obviously if you're not on here, you're not going to hear it, but these videos all get organized in the guides by category name, and they stay up here. So if you wanted to go back and paint whatever we did in January, go right ahead. You'll find the supply list in there and a tracer and the video. And I always say this, I paint like I color, and I would like to go around and outline around my main shape, my elements, my design, whatever that is. So then I can come in here and paint a little bit more freely. Just watching. Cool. Welcome. So next week, you guys, I am going to be a student. I can't wait. Actually, it might be Saturday. I'm gonna have to look. I signed up for a paint class. A friend of mine is doing a beach series with coastlines and sand dunes, horizon, sunrise. I am so excited. I am always looking to take classes, to learn something new, to paint something that I love. And it is really nice for me to be a student, to just sit in and paint and listen, get in the zone, as I call it. And sometimes when I'm in here in my office and I'm painting like samples or doing orders or whatever it is, I say I was in the zone. One time, I shouldn't say this, I was painting an order for something. I forget what it was. And before I knew it, I had gotten totally carried away, and I was like, ooh, do I send this out and be like, here you go? You know, because I always say that none of my hand paintings, you know, they're not duplicated. I'm not a machine. So because all my stuff is hand painted, it will be, you know, there'll be differences. And this one, you can tell I started out with the initial design, the initial artwork, but I just kept filling in flowers and filling in flowers and filling in flowers. And next thing you knew, I was like, ooh, I mean, it was really pretty. Well, I'm not gonna say it wasn't pretty. It was really pretty. But I was like, ooh, do I send it or do I keep this for myself and make a new one? I ended up sending it. She loved it. So it all worked out. But yeah, that's me. Getting in the zone, the painting zone. And I'm just doing the edges now. You don't have to do your edges. And it really depends on what you're painting on if you're doing a canvas. You might not have edges to do if you're doing something else. So I need a little bit more black again. I will try and keep moving up and down and not be off the screen. If I am off and you see that I'm off, feel free to mention it. And I will fix my camera angle because this is a 20-inch piece of canvas. So, like right now, I'm doing the feet and I know I'm off. Let's turn you around. There we go. I'm actually not doing the feet. I'm doing the bottom around the shoes. Okay. So, when we do our background, like I said, it does not have to be perfect because we still have to come in here and add our flowers and paint our entire design. So if you got a little bit on your gnome, don't fret, okay? We're not going to worry about that. Okay, so I'm going to wash my brush that had that purple on it. Oops. Okay, there we go. I mean, it had the black on it, sorry. And now I'm going to get out my purple. So I have two different purples here. I'm going to use this lighter purple. If you just have one purple, you can add a little bit of white to your purple to make it lighter. If we wanted to do like his body and his little arms in a lighter purple. But for now, I'm just going to start on his hat. And I'm going to use the same brush I was using. I'm just washing it off. And then I'm going to dry it as best I can by sandwiching it in this paper towel. Just like that. Okay? And I'm going to start with his hat. And I'm basically starting with his hat because that's where we started with the black to begin with. And that's where it's mostly dry. If it's not completely dry, that's okay too. Because if we pick up some of the black, we're just going to have some shading. Now I don't know with painting with this purple, when I get done, if I'm going to be able to see my lines. But I think we will be able to eyeball it a little bit. And again, I am taking my brush, I'm using it standing upright on the chisel edge. You can use a liner brush if you want, if you feel more comfortable with that. And I'm outlining my gnome. And then I'm just going to go in here and fill it in. And now my eye knows where I have to paint. And I want all my strokes to be vertical. And so even if some of mine went horizontal while I was doing my outline, that's okay, because I'm fixing that now as I paint. And if I'm going too fast for some of you, you can finish up as soon as I am done. This gets saved and gets reposted within like 2 minutes onto Facebook. So you have time to get a drink, get a cup of coffee or tea, use the bathroom, and then the video will be back up. You can fast forward to where I got away from you and finish your artwork right while you have everything out and ready to go. It's that quick for it to pop back up. Okay, so now I base coated in my hat. And don't forget, you guys, what you're seeing on the screen, we may have the exact same purple, but the color you're going to see on the screen, because of our monitors, is going to be different, or may be different. So if you're thinking, oh, my purple doesn't look like that, my purple in real time here may not look like that either. All of our monitors, our devices, some people watch on their phone, some people watch on an iPad, and they'll all give you a different color scheme. Not all devices and all monitors are built the same or have the same quality. So don't let that, jam you up. I'm just going to go in here. So I did his little body, and now I'm going in here and I'm doing his sleeves with his hands. Okay, let me flip you guys around. There we go. Okay, so I did all the background. The white splotches are where we're going to add the flowers. I did his hat in the dark purple, and then I did his hands and the body in a lighter purple. Like I said, if you just have one purple, add a little bit of white to it, Or they could be matching. You could use the same purple for both. But if you want it, you could lighten it up a little bit to do his hands and his body. Okay? Hi, Karen. It's nice to see you. Thanks for hopping on. So this is what we have so far. And this is a 10. It was in the supply list. This is a 10 by 20. I may add another flower in here. We'll see. Okay. So there we go. Can't be. I'm having a little trouble with my mouse, you guys. I don't know why. Sorry, I'm trying to change cameras. Let's see. Let's try this again. There we go. I don't know why, but whatever. Sorry. Okay, now I'm going to get a smaller brush. I'm going to put out some white. Did you guys see my shirt? It says, I hate freaking winter. Because I do. I'm so tired of being cold. Last week, we had such a tease here. And now, this week, it's not back to being as cold as it was. But it's still pretty cold. Today it was like 40, damp, gray, rainy. Sorry, you guys, I don't mean to be bringing you down, but I don't like it. So, now I'm going to get out some white, and I'm going to paint his beard. And I'm just going to, again, I'm outlining his hands. And I don't know if you saw from the picture, but he's kind of holding flowers in his hands. So it's his nose here, but then these are two flowers here, if you traced it on. And I'm just going around and I'm filling in the white of his beard. You really can't see that because my canvas is white, but trust me, I am. I did pick up a little bit of the light purple, but I'm not going to worry about that either, except there because it was too much. So let me just fix that. Once we let that dry a little bit, I'll be able to take that out. Okay? And I am also going to base coat his nose in white for now too. There we go. Okay. Now we can do his shoes. I think I'm going to do his shoes in the purple because you won't really be able to see them down here with the black bottom. So I didn't even wash my brush. And I'm just coming in here with my white brush. I picked up some purple. And I'm filling in his shoes down here. Because we have this little bit of black down here, we wouldn't have seen his shoes with the black background. So instead of doing black shoes, I'm doing these purple ones. We're going to add some highlights to that as well. And I'm waiting for my hat to dry a little bit while I do this. Washing my brush again. Got some magenta. So now I'm putting out some, a little bit of magenta and some baby pink. Oh, that one's not working. Or some light pink. I have that here. We don't need a lot of it. I'm going to slam. Okay, sorry. Take off that little piece of dried paint and get at my pink. And I'm washing my smaller brush that I've been using. Okay. So I am going to pick up the pink, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over his nose. And it's okay that my white is still wet. We're getting a little bit of a blend in here, and that's okay. And then I'm going to pick up the pink, and I'm going to base coat all my flowers. And you might not be able to, there's a little bit of a glare. There we go. And I'm just going in here. We want a little bit of a scallop or an uneven edge around the flowers. I left these areas blank too on the side of my canvas to let that wrap around. And we're just base coating in. I'm giving a little wiggle to my brush. Let's see. And we're just base coating in the pinks of our flowers for our spring gnome. Like that. I'm trying to get the glare off. It's okay if you go over your black a little bit because this is only the first step in our flowers. We're going to be adding a lot of layers and a lot of details to these flowers. Like you see over here. I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to get it to see that. Oh, right there, that's a good angle. I went over my black a little bit. That's totally okay. Gives your flower a little bit more dimension. And when we add our details and our highlights and our lowlights, you'll see why it doesn't matter. Now I'm moving up. And again, nothing about these flowers has to be perfect. The beginning of these flowers are just blobs. And you'll be able to tell the difference, like up in here, there's two flowers, one's in the back and one's in the front. And again, when we get to the details, this is just all like the base coating work. I'm doing my edges here. When we get to the details, that's when you'll be able to differentiate between the flowers and which is in the front and which is in the back. And our paintings always go through stages. Of course, we have to be patient. If there's something that we don't love, chances are it's going to get covered over anyway, so we're not going to fret about that. And then if there's something that we really don't love, we just add a leaf or a flower, and that takes care of that. I did just notice I messed something up. If you haven't done these two flowers yet, don't. They're different colors. If you have, that's fine. We're going to fix it when it dries. Or you can leave yours pink. It's up to you. But I just noticed on my sample that those flowers are more yellow. Okay. Let me turn you guys around again. Oh, it's this one. This is so weird. There we go. So, I have pretty much everything base coated at this point, which is good. We have our black background. You really can't see the purple, the pink because of the glare. Now you can see it a little bit. There we go. So we have all our flowers, background in with the pink. We have his body, which I did a little bit of a different purple. So you can add white to your purple if you want your body different, or it can totally match his hat. And we have his nose right in there. Okay? Okay. Does anybody have any questions, comments? All right, let's go back. There we go. Put that over there. All righty. I'm like loving this, and I can't wait till we do the rest of the series. And they're going to somewhat coordinate, and I'll explain to you how that works. I got a little bit of pink splatter on here, so I'm just fixing this. I'm going to try and limit the colors on the series, so there's always complementary colors from each of our gnomes in the four-part series. Obviously the backgrounds are all going to be black, but then we're going to repeat some of the colors as well in our designs. But you may want to hang them all at once, or you may want to hang them one at a time for the season. That's up to you. Okay, I fixed that now. If I'm going to wash my brush again. Okay, I got a little purple into my beard, and it's pretty dry now, so I'm going to go over that. If you wait for your paint to dry, you can fix anything. You guys know it's easier to go over like something light with dark paint, of course. But if you're patient enough and you let it dry and give it enough layers in your patience, you can fix it. And the fun part comes when we start adding all the details. So since I have the white on my brush, I'm going to turn my guy sideways. Can I see my lines? I really can't, but we're going to wing it. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm just going to start on the chisel edge, and I'm going to add some stripes to his hat. They don't have to be straight. We're going to give a little wiggle to them, and we're just working our way around the hat. See how these are a little closer in here? Because as the hat curves, it helps you have that illusion of the hat having a curve to it. Some of them I'm going to make a little thicker by putting a little bit more pressure to my brush, and some thinner. And each time I'm picking up some paint. Let's get another thicker one in here. I mean, it's a gnome. His hat was probably made out of rags. Lisa. Hey, Lisa Cole Ellis, my new friend my new interweb friend that I met in person with her mom a couple weeks ago. Nice to see you. It's so fun, you guys. So a couple of weeks ago, I went to Atlanta, Georgia, to go to a painters conference. So it is, let me tell you guys, while you guys paint, I can talk. So, oh, there we go. So the Pinners Conference is hosted by Pinterest, and it was 2 days of vendors and crafting and tech classes. But more importantly, I got to meet like 20 people, including my new friend Lisa Colell is here. Thank you. Like you loving the gnome. It's cute, right? In person. How cool is it to meet people that you've only like messaged with or seen in groups, and now you get to meet them in person and give them huge hugs and talk about what they're creating and what you're creating and how much you love their stuff. And it was so cool. And Lisa came with her mom, so I got to meet her mom as well. And also lucky for me, daughter number 1 lives in Atlanta, so I stay with my daughter, got to spend time with my daughter, and go to the Pinners Conference. And I painted. I don't know where to do with it. I know I shared it. I painted. I took a class on Canva. If you're a maker, you know what Canva is. I took a class on Procreate. I took a class on digital art. It was awesome. I took 8 classes in 2 days, met tons of people, and probably bought a little too much stuff. And my mom, oh, your mom was so sweet. We liked her a lot. And then it was like this giant vendor area with probably 200 vendors, and walked around, bought some blanks, bought some supplies. You could buy finished products too. I mean, everybody was like a giant craft fair too. But I mostly bought supplies and blanks to paint on and whatnot. Because, you know, sometimes you guys, I'm like, what am I going to paint on my live? What am I going to paint? So I have a bunch of little things now that I can paint. And it was really nice to meet people in person. So, working on my hat here. And now, you can do any design you want. I'm trying to make room on your hat. Spent too much money. Yeah, I might have spent a little too much money too. Probably between, well, that probably wasn't a lot. Yeah, no, I probably did. What's funny about it though, because I was so excited, because Pinners, for the 2-day conference for Pinners, you guys, was very inexpensive. Pinners has about 6 or 8 locations that they are in across the country. And the ticket for Pinners itself, including the classes, was only $50. So that was really, really good. There were some classes that had a kit, and you could buy it or not buy it. It was up to you. So to get in and do the classes and see the vendors or whatever, it was very affordable and inexpensive. But if you were buying a lot of stuff, it could have added up. Thank goodness I had to fly, and there were a lot of things that I would have bought had I been able to get them home or in my suitcase. So let's just say that. So that was lucky. So, okay, back to our gnome. So now we did our stripes. Now I'm moving on to my liner brush. And I'm going to outline my gnome. This does not have to be perfect. Sometimes we'll cross into the black. Sometimes we'll cross into the purple. Some areas will be thicker. Some areas will be thinner. And we're not going to get jammed up about that. Right? Then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to start adding a little design to my gnome hat. And you can do these little dashes. You can do dots. I'm going to do dots as well, but I'm showing you guys both. You can just leave it with the stripes. You could put more stripes. It's up to you. And that's what I like about this gnome guy, because you guys can paint him over and over again. And even if you did another purple hatted gnome, if you just decide to do different design on his hat, you have a completely different gnome. You could come in here and put the chevron V's. You can do big polka dots. Oh, didn't want to do that. See, I was talking. I've been doing every other. I'll fix that. Skip, yeah. So it's totally up to you. Another reason why I like the versatility of this gnome, and we're going to do the series in it, is because really you can, once you get the hang of it, you can make it any theme you want. Now, here's my trick. You guys have seen this before. I like to use the back of my brush and pick up paint and do my polka dots. So I basically did every other, that one I messed up, but that's okay. I basically did every other with the dashes and now the polka dots. You can do all polka dots, you can do big polka dots, you can not do polka dots at all. It's up to you. And I love the way using the back of the brush works. You get nice, perfect circles. I usually do about 3 before I go and pick up more paint. Okay, I'm gonna wipe that off. Oh, so cute, so cute. So remember before when I told you I screwed up my flowers? Now that let me wash my liner brush. Now that my pink is dry, I'm going to get out a little bit of yellow. And my smaller brush that I was using. I'm going to get it all dried off. And I'm just going to go over these that he's holding in his hand with yellow. And see, it's very easy. Actually, the yellow is translucent and I would have needed 2 coats of the yellow anyway. Yellow and orange and red tend to be very translucent. So I would have needed 2 coats of the yellow anyway, and now I don't. So what did Bob Ross used to say? Happy mistake? Yep, I'll take it. Okay. And now we have our yellow. So now we're going to go in and we're going to start adding in our leaves. And these are very simple leaves. I always equate them to the leaves that we painted back in the day in elementary school. The difference is when we do them now, we blend and we use multiple colors. So I have a dark green, a light green, although it's very bright, and I'm even going to put in some of my yellow. And now I'm just going to start going in with that same brush. I'm going to use the same dirty brush from my yellow. I'm going to pick up some green, and I'm going to start adding in my leaves. And the leaves are basic leaf shape. That's it. Pick up the green paint and fill them in. And we get a variety of tones and shades because I've mixed some yellow with my green. Okay? So again, I'm going to pick up some green. I'll put a little bit of yellow on my brush as well. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add in some leaves. It's nice when we have our elements or leaves or flowers like we have here going off the page. Gives it a little bit more, I don't know, variety, spices it up a little bit. And I'm just painting in with my yellow and my bright green to add a little bit of texture to my leaves. This is why we did the stripes on the hat first, because this one up here our leaves are kind of going into our hat a little bit. And I'm always putting more than one color on my dirty brush, whether it's the light green and the dark green, or the dark green and the yellow. And for those of you who got kits, the general vicinity and your flowers, I said at the beginning, were traced out. Your flowers would have been a little bit smaller because naturally, and these two have to get darker. When we start painting, sometimes when we're trying to fix stuff, our shapes end up growing. And that's just something I've learned with experience. So now my brush is getting a little yucky. I got a lot of paint on there. I'm just going to wipe it off. And I'm going to come back in here and pick up my two different colors and go back in and add in my leaves. And I love the mix of colors I'm getting with these greens and the yellow. So now, originally I had said maybe I would add another flower in here, but with these leaves here, I don't think I'm gonna. I think it looks good. I'm just picking up a little bit of my light green and doing a swish. Oh, that one lost its point. In my flowers to get a little bit more depth in there. And I'm going to add another leaf over here too. You may see something, part of a flower, part of your background that you don't love. And you can go in and add another flower or leaf in there too. Totally up to you. Let me turn it around. There we go. I am always, I hope I don't make you guys dizzy, I am always moving my surface around. Especially using this tall surface. I couldn't possibly be reaching up here and you wouldn't even be able to see. So, and it's okay, like here I got a little bit on the pink. We're not going to worry about that because we still have to add many more layers and colors to our flowers. Our flowers are just base coated. And none of my leaves are the same shape. I'm going to go over these again. Some of them are skinny, some of them are fatter, some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller, and that is all okay. Okay. Wait, turn your guys around again. So, you guys, it's so cute. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. I can't wait to do the beach one, you guys. Can't wait, because you guys know I'm all about the beach and the sand and the warm weather. Maybe we'll even put a palm tree in the beach one. So anyway, we have done the black background, base coat. Then we went in and base coated our gnome. We did the purple for the hat. We did a lighter purple for the bottom. We did a white beard. Then I did his purple shoes. Then we went in and we base coated all of our flowers pink, including these ones that I made a mistake on that was supposed to be yellow, but that's okay. And then we went in and added the yellow. Then, since our hat was dry, we added the design to our hat. And like I said, you can make it as fancy or as plain as you want. Now we did our leaves. And now we're going to start going in and doing all the details. Let me show you guys a trick. Well, because I have all my paint out. Let me show you guys a trick that I just learned from someone. So, I need a clean brush for this. And you may or may not want to do this, but it helps, okay? So, I'm going to use this brush, and I'm picking up a little bit, have the back of it, and I'm putting black. Then I'm going to clean my brush. Oh, you know what? I'm not even going to use a brush. I'm going to use my finger. Purple, wipe. The other purple, wipe. Pink, wipe. White, wipe. Yellow, wipe. Dark green, and light green. And now on the back of my painting is all the colors that we used. My hand's a mess, that's okay. It comes off acrylic paint, is all the colors we used. Even if I don't know what purple was that, at least I could figure it out. Isn't that so easy? And no, you cannot see it from this side. That was a trick I just learned from another painter. So I'm sharing it with you guys. See, it pays to hop on here with me, right? Okay, turn you around again. So here we go. Okay, now time for our liner brush. Liner brush, liner brush. Where is mine? Here it is. So this is always my favorite part. I tell you guys all the time, you have to trust me, trust yourselves, and embrace the entire process, because as we work on it and we get past the beginning stages, a little drink, it all starts to come together, and our projects will definitely have a not so pretty part of them, and then you start adding the details and bam, your whole painting just comes to life. Okay, so I'm going to start down here, and I have all my paints out. I have a little bit of magenta, I have the purple. I might not use the magenta because I don't remember if I put that on your list. So maybe I'll just stick to the pink, which I need more. Yeah, I'll need more pink. I'll stick to the pink and the purple. Okay, use my liner brush. When we use our liner brush, we like to give it a twirl. And I love these flowers. They're very versatile as well. We did these on a previous, I know we did them on the Eiffel Tower, and I'm pretty sure I did them in another class as well. And we are just going to go in, and we're going to start adding squiggly lines to our flowers. So now you'll see, let me show you. I did one, I did two. They don't touch, but when I do this one, it goes between these two. I'll show you again. So here, I'm doing one. This one's bigger, so it's going to take more. 2 and 3. These don't touch, but when I come back in here for the next row, I put them there, like I straddle the opening. And then I'll have one on the border here. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we keep them spaced. But when we come in here with the second row, we put our second row across the opening. And this is what I was saying before, why it didn't matter if we covered up some of our black with our pink, because now we're going over. I just covered right over that. You wouldn't even know it because I have purple there. And this is a totally round flower. But again, I'm doing the same thing. And because it's larger, I'm going to add more. But as I go inside the circle, I'm still putting the next layer in to straddle the gap, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So these follow the curve of the flower. Okay? Then when I go to my next layer, this one's going to straddle that gap. This one's going to come straddle this gap.